The most important thing you can do to build culture, the bigger you get, is to continually prune it. Now, I'm not a gardener, but I am a farmer. And so I'll close with a farmer analogy. So this might outdate some of you. But before there was freaking Roundup and all the stuff that we like to talk about is so not good, farm kids used to literally walk up and down what are called bean fields. This is also before they were GMOs. So back when kids had unpaid manual labor jobs instead of iPads. And so it was called walking beans. And my dad used to drive by every one of his fields. And then when he had me, I was the go get the weed puller. And he would literally make me walk half a mile through a field to pull one weed out of it. Now, my conversation to my dad all the time was, bro, I didn't call him bro, it's my dad. It's one weed. We've pulled like 6,000 out of this, can't we just go home? And he said, that one weed will spread. And if you know anything about weeds, whether you're farming or gardening, that's the cold, hard freaking truth. And so non-culture fits, whether a part-time VA in Singapore or front desk, front and center, or right next to you, leader, they are going to spread toxicity far faster than an A+ team player can even spread positivity and productivity. Look at the news, fear sells, scare sells, right? That happens in an organization as well. So most of us and I know who I'm talking to today, it'd be different directions if it was a startup group, but we are very established practices. And the final lesson here on this, sorry I'm in overtime, but KPIs are the thing. So we use traction and EOS too, but the one thing that's missing in that, because it's a good, cold, hard business book, they don't talk a lot about soft skills and those sort of things in there, right? And situational awareness and culture and core values and all that. You got to kind of take a bunch of books and put them together. The number one thing that absolutely slows an organization down is a non-culture fit. And so the two action items are, y'all need to fire someone yesterday whose KPIs are awesome. They're performing. They're adjusting a ton of patients. They're getting a bunch of new leads, new patients. They're doing a lot of, whatever their job is, numerically, they're doing it well. But subjectively, when it comes to your culture and your team and the character and the morale and the identity of your team, they are literally destroying it and it's spreading fast. And if you want to lose A+ team players, perfect culture fits, make them work next to, even on Zoom, on Slack, on Monday.com, make them work next to an a-hole and they will leave in a hot second. So the number one thing you can do to grow your practice and grow your culture, usually at this stage where we all are, is to continually be driving by and pruning. And so I'll leave you with a fun analogy from Steve Ebel. So my dad drove by and he had about 1,000 acres and he would get on the three-wheeler because, safety first. I actually have a picture. I used to have a shirt, not a picture. I used to have a shirt growing up that was a picture of a dude on a three-wheeler with a beer in one hand and a cigarette in his other hand. So he didn't have any hands on the steering wheel. And it said safety third. It's a funny shirt. It's a great shirt, just to leave with some humor on this. And so he would say, I have to drive by every single field every single night because I need to let the good stuff, the corn of the beans, I need to let them know I care. So there's your good people. And I need to let the weeds know I'm watching. That was literally my dad's freaking statement is I need to let the good people know I care and I need to let the weeds know I'm watching. And I don't know if I've ever, taught that on a call like this, but holy heck, is it relatable to culture? Everybody on the team needs to know that their KPIs and their performance, black and white spreadsheets, yada, yada, super important, but not as important as just who they are. Everything we talk about in this group and everything we talked about today, we hire on that, fire on that, promote on that, more so than anything else, by a large margin, more so than KPIs. And I had to bring this up at the end because the thing that will convince you to keep that toxic person on the team is their productivity based upon KPIs and, they're making us this much money or they're doing this much, and then it would come back on my plate. It will for a season. If you're going to fire somebody, that responsibility, that KPI is going to go down for a bit, or that work's going to go on your plate for a bit. Keyword being a bit. Soon it's going to go on to the next absolutely right, perfect person, culture fit plate. And, lessons learned the hard way for most of us. You also have a list of someone who is a perfect culture fit, and you haven't hired them because you don't have an open spot on the org chart. And if you don't hire them today, they might take a job somewhere else. And in 3 months, like Andrew said, when you're ready for them, a different analogy, but same using the 3 months, and now you're going to be ready for them and they won't be there anymore. Make the list of people that just don't fit, and then make the list of the people who are perfect culture fits that are in your sphere of influence, and find a job for them. Get them on the frickin' team. Let Jackie cook, Dr. Matt. Let him cook. All right, everybody.